I'm BJ.
And I'm Connor.
Get your D20s ready and roll initiative because something perilous is coming. Alright, rolling initiative. Fucking 1.
You want to know something funny?
What?
I just rolled a 1.
Well, I have a higher dexterity modifier, so... Alright. So, how's your week been going thus far since our last broadcast?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. It's been a busy week. They called me into work almost every day this week.
Well, that's a good thing as well, because, I do
have a child on the way, so money's money.
Yeah.
On the nice part was this paycheck, I was able to essentially pay for all of rent out of just my money. That means anything Brittany's going, you go towards other bills. Which
awesome. That is bonus.
Like between that and getting a motorcycle up and running in the last few days of good weather, it's been a pretty frantic week.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
We're in that nice lull between scorching and then frigid.
Yep. So how about your week? You tell me a little about, some pretty fun stuff you were...
Oh, yeah. Started playing Pokemon Uranium. It's basically a fan game that was made, they've been working on it for a little while. They just got past beta. Now they're actually, putting it up and out there, and then Nintendo immediately took it down.
You mean Nintendo?
Nintendo, indeed. Fortunately, you can still find copies of it, and it's all interconnected, so you can do trading and all sorts of stuff once you have the program. Like it to some degree. It definitely is a fan game. What I don't like is a lot of the models and resources were derived as if they were traced from the other game, such as some of the Pokemon look like you splice 2 Charizard heads together onto a body, or one of them looks like a Horsia head spliced onto a Seviper body. Things like that are a little irksome. And some of the really original looking ones are not exactly Pokemon as much as furries, to be honest. Nothing against it. It's just when I'm looking for Pokemon, I'm not looking for a snowboarding polar bear. But overall, not bad. The gameplay is pretty interesting. They keep a lot of the things true. They tweak the little things here and there. One of the quibbles I've got is early on, a lot of the Pokemon have dual types already, which doesn't really scale things very well.
Messes with the balance, more or less. Granted, everything's escalated at that point, which I can understand, too. The storyline behind it is nuclear plants exist, and some of them went off. Yes. I don't want to give more than the storyline than that, because I want people to actually check out the game, get an idea for themselves. But this includes a new type, nuclear type, which is an all-or-nothing type. It basically is super effective against everything, and everything is super effective against it, except for nuclear, and I believe steel is an exception as well. Mm. But in any case... I'd almost sort of thrown rock in there, too. Most nuclear plants are built from steel and concrete, and those are metals and concrete are the ones that are the best to help contain nuclear fallout and radiation.
Well, the thing is, stones can still get irradiated. In fact, one of the fun stones you can get is irradiated quartz and things like that. It still takes damage and still can carry radiation. Terracotta, something that's used in pottery, you gotta be careful because some of the old terracotta that's made down in South America has radiation portions in it. Stone.
Yeah, but a foot of concrete. I think it was a foot of concrete can effectively
dampen the radiation
drastically. So,
but how is the concrete affected?
Yeah. Well, that's why there's always a lead barrier between the
metal,
the internal and external.
Yep.
But but that's talking into more nuclear physics and the aspects of radiation and half-life,
ionic sharing, and all that fun jazz. But anyway, that's nuclear Pokemon. They even have a nuclear Eevee evolution, which was Nucleon.
I don't know. I'm more interested in a nuclear, anything electric.
Right? That'd be interesting. I haven't gone far enough. I got to about the 7th gym, and then a bug killed my save file.
Oh.
Whenever I load the save file, crash. I've sent in the error. We'll see if I get feedback on it here sometime soon. It didn't appear to be any of the ones that had already been posted.
Just, comb through and say, hey, you guys gotta fix this now. So, fortunately, you can have as many save games as you want. So you can have multiple individual games running. So I started a new one in the background, decided to pick the non-binary gendered character, because they have both male, female, and non-binary. Which, hey, that's progressive.
If only Nintendo can take example.
Right.
Talking to you guys. No, okay, so I honestly, I've heard, this throughout the week, and believe me, I sit here, if you are sitting here saying that some of the characters look like shit, I believe that's saying something when a blind man is telling you your characters look like shit.
Now, granted, there are some that are pretty cool. That's why I tend to collect those ones and use those ones more. And more options early on.
With the exception of the snowboarding polar bear.
And those things are fucking annoying, too. They're ice ground type, so they like to earthquake a lot. Yeah, the 7th gym was a pain.
Speaking in Pokemon related, there's a bunch of people trying to get a new ghost fighting Pokemon.
Well, who would want it?
Called Harambe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people trying. Oh, I think they're trying to get Nintendo to add it to their
current roster.
The current roster, and I'm like, eh. I mean, the artwork that whoever did for it kind of looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got enough, we've seen how fans can actually affect franchises. Those that listen, for example, let's take the big one, Dragon Ball. If it weren't for those fans, that band making the Freezer song, we might not have what current continuations there are right now.
Honestly, I'm really, Dragon Ball Z Kai, I'm really excited they decided to just step up and redo a lot of that and be like, okay, let's actually go through and do this, because...
Have you been keeping up with Super at all?
No, I have not.
Oh my God.
I don't have cable, and I don't...
It's online. You can find anything online.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
But the great thing about Super is it's the continuation we needed.
It's not the GT.
It's pretty much snubs its nose at GT.
No, that's pretty easy. I mean... all they had to do was make any official, canon continuation, and its nose has been snubbed.
Now, granted, GT might actually still exist as a different universe. They bring up the multiple universe portions. Have you played Xenoverse?
My younger brother Jacob has, and I've done that. I've played a little bit with him, and it's not really my cup of tea. Fighting games aren't my big spiel, but I see where you're going with the analogy.
Well, with Xenoverse, it's actually that it can be considered to be canon, considering what storyline they've been going with. The 2 movies that have been made, the Battle of the Gods and Resurrection of F.
I did see both of those.
Those are the first portions of Super. They go into more detail on the interactions. They cover a little more on Beerus, a little more on what leads up to them, and the events of the movie itself are covered in them. Now, granted, the movies in themselves are awesome to watch. I do suggest watching them, but also, if you've seen them, Super adds more to it. So if you watch both, you can get more out of watching both than just watching one or the other. And now it's well past that point. Future Trunks is back, for example. And that's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, everyone needs a little more Future Trunks in their life.
Yeah.
Because we all know what Trunks is like.
Oh, yeah, regular Trunks.
I wonder how that affects the future development of the now current timeline Trunks.
It's wonky how they're handling things. I mean, it's personal theory is that Future Trunks is from a different dimension rather than an actual future, but it's hard.
If I remember correctly, in the original series, I think it was he essentially stated, but by traveling back from the future to the past, he automatically ends up creating a new dimension where essentially he doesn't exist, but because he's from another dimension, the paradox is allowed.
Yeah. Apparently, traveling back in the past is a big no-no. Beerus isn't happy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's the Lord of Destruction, and
yeah,
what better way of destruction than completely obliterating time as we know it?
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail, so I'm going to kind of cut off more super there because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Spoilers enough to mention Future Trunks.
Future.
Yeah, who somehow has his sword still.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, back on the lines of indie games and things like that. I'm a big avid watcher of Markiplier, as is my wife. Well, her more than I actually. But overall, he plays some group games that were pretty fun to watch. Was it Move or Die was another one that she likes, and we're trying to get Michael to get it so that way we can start trolling him and Steven and play it together as party games.
And I was going to say, doesn't Sean play that? I can't remember.
I have no idea.
I could have sworn I saw something about him playing it.
Another one that we saw, Ultimate Chicken Horse, or Horse Chicken, Chicken Horse. Basically, it's a cooperative game where each of you are on a map, and you're some cute little character, an animal of some sort, and you got to place either obstacles or beneficial items. Basically, each of you gets to place something on the map, and each of you has to try to get to the flag while making sure the other ones can't. So it's competitive, but cooperative at the same time.
Oh, it's kind of like Mario for the Wii.
Pretty much.
Well, the goal is to ultimately win, but who says you can't be a dick along the way?
So there's all sorts of different fun traps and other conniving items again. And this is on Steam. It's one that I might actually be able to play to some degree because I can invert my screen so I can see things a little better. I've got the huge monitor upstairs. So with it, you're all going through it at the same time. So there's no watching someone else like, oh, I did that, And you're all placing items around the same time. Definitely watch their playthrough on it, though, on Markiplier's channel. I believe they might have it on the other ones, because they've got Jacksepticeye, Bob, and I can never remember his name. It's standard name. It's not Dave. Wade. It's close. And it had 4 or 3 of the 4 letters were in there, and then you double the other letter, and you get Wade. But yeah. So those are some of the other indie games, and the wife and I have been looking at what's been made already. Like, we saw Pokemon Uranium, we're like, you know what? We've been wanting to make a game ourselves, so we're probably going to start taking a stab on it using probably RPG Maker.
I actually have that.
Yeah, so do I.
So, and it is... I mean, I guess if you get like a committed team, like because I was sitting here like when they wanted to do it.
Oh, there's a lot you have to do.
There's a lot. Like I'm working on just a small little thing, and just the scripting alone.
Scripting, I'm not worried as much about. It's more getting the resources for like characters and making all unique and everything, and then determining the system behind the scripting. Once I've got that down, whatever language I have to use is easy enough from there.
Well, I mean, a lot of the event scripting is more or less is what I, because that stuff's easy.
Yeah.
But it's just the sheer amount.
It's daunting.
Like, just, because one of the things I wanted to play around with is maybe doing like a little raft minigame in it. No, don't ever do raft minigames. Like, because you have to manually move each and every one, and then like if you go one section too far, you then have to try and count backwards each and every direction to figure out the one direction you messed up. No.
Well, I've done matrices type coding, like something for Minesweeper. I've actually coded that back in the day in what was it, just regular C, not C++, C. Basically making DOS versions of different things.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, the concepts are still there. So I just got to play more with the interface, see what's capable, because we want to do a collectible monster game of our own. Because we've had all sorts of ideas. Like, let's step away from Pokemon. Maybe
apply some of the things we've learned from them working on the games, what we've seen, their progressions and such, them and Digimon and other collectible monster games, Monster Rancher, and take aspects we like from them, not direct items, but concepts, abstracts, and apply it towards what we're doing. We're thinking of doing ours as a magically based monster game, which the closest thing would be Monster Rancher at that point. Is the closest to that, because they kind of touch on them.
That one in forever.
Yeah, they haven't done a new game as far as I know since like early 2000s. Last I recall, maybe it was late 2000s. Evo, I think, was the last one they did, because they had Monster Rancher 1 through 4, all the other little side games, and then Evo. The problem I have with that is they focus too much on the side games, like all the little mini game stuff, and that kind of got annoying.
Oh, I hate when games like, oh yes, do all the mini games. I mean, I could understand doing it at least once.
Yeah, but frustration on my part, because even then my vision wasn't the greatest, and at this point, woo. And plus, Faith has always wanted to apply her own ideas for different, like, Pokemon and the like. Because we've seen, the different ones that have been coming out, all their renditions. Uranium has a lot of cats, which I approve of. Mm-hmm. Like, one of the starters is a feline, not fire, so no problems with sun and moon. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. With the starters in Uranium, you've got regular, the starting one, and then one evolution. And then Mega Evolution. So there's 3 forms, but no 4th form. So Mega Evolution takes the 3rd slot rather than the 4th slot.
Okay.
And all of them start off with 2 types to begin with. So it's like as if you were skipping a first evolution.
Maybe they just sat here and just like, no first evolution.
Yeah. I mean, the first ones look like first evolutions, kind of cute. The one that I got is, what is it? Orcanix. Basically, it's a plant steel type, or grass steel type, and it's kitty, reminiscent of Bulbasaur, kind of like facially, kind of that, except more squinty-eyed, with a bulb on the tip of its tail. That's the best way I can describe it, with what limited, looking over it and everything. Then it evolves up and becomes this blade-tailed lynx-like kitty of doom.
Right. That sounds actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Beginning the game with a steel type is totally broken.
I know.
It's like, oh, all you normal types out there, screw you. Everything, screw you. Oh, fighting. Oh, I'm going over here.
I mean, because, I haven't done anything indie gaming, but I've, been kind of hitting a lot of the more, I finally jumped in and played the reboot of Tomb Raider.
Oh, how's that?
I think it was, like, I know a lot of people were kind of giving it, some shit. I think it was a really nice game. I like to describe it as Laura's worst day ever. Because, like...
Subtitle, Laura's worst day.
Because, like, the entire, like, first part of the game is just constant go, 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 go. And just shitty thing after shitty thing after shitty thing just keeps happening.
Do you still have to shoot at the T-Rex?
There's no T-Rex in there.
Oh, man. That's bogus.
I don't know if it could be one in a second game. If not, I don't know. But no, it's kind of bouncing in between that and that the Sword Art Online Hollowed Fragment game.
Oh, how's that?
That one, it is a game. It's not bad. It plays a lot like the old dot hack games for the PS2.
Oh, which weren't bad, but...
Which, in a lot of aspects, I just kept sitting here saying, they did it so much better in this game. Like,
and that's the problem. You got to learn from prior games of the same genre.
Well, the thing is, I was sitting here thinking about it, is I think they're both made by Bandai Namco.
Oh. Well, that's kind of taking a step back then, aren't they?
There are a lot of things that is definitely refined, like the combat, fighting, You can definitely tell that there was a lot involved there. I guess I just loved the procedurally generated worlds.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun, and trying to see how many worlds you can go into the game. Just whoa, step back. I can't do this.
Look, monster. Oh, gods, no. Why'd I do the hellscape? Yeah.
But you can also...
we had a double there.
I know.
Yeah, synchronized.
I know. God, now I'm numbing again. Damn it!
Got you on cycle.
I know. I'd rather be in a REM cycle than an cycle.
Oh, a REM cycle would be real nice right now.
It would be.
Yeah.
Damn it. The game, it definitely feels like they're catering to a certain particular fan base, because where the game starts, it essentially is after the big fight and the first game against the final boss, Heathcliff.
Oh, if you call that a final boss.
I guess. I mean, it's been out long enough that we don't have to worry about spoiler alerts, because I'm pretty sure
they've already had a second season.
So yeah, spoiler alert: Kirito fights Heathcliff.
Oh no!
In this game, something happens, and Heathcliff just kind of disappears, and they continue on. Glitches out.
Yeah, bad programming there.
One of the things I think I actually kind of like that they took is, once they pass that 75th floor, you can't go back.
Ooh.
You can't contact anyone back. You're essentially cut off from anyone in the floors below.
Oh, that is dickish.
It is kind of dickish, but kind of a nice thing. It almost looks like they then scale all the monsters back a bit, and some people lose some of their skills. Their skills kind of take a hit.
Interesting.
It's kind of interesting.
It's like the Kingdom Hearts reset button.
Yeah, pretty much. One thing, though, I'm kind of a little annoyed at is they brought in Leafa and Sinon, which Leafa, I can MacGuffin that. That makes sense in the world of she's playing ALO, Alfheim Online, or however it's enunciated.
Alfheim or whatever.
Which is, that's still a cardinal system. That is made from the SAO servers, and it was running the same time SAO was running.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is Sinon. Because...
Don't do spoilers.
Well, no, it's just beginning of the second season. I'm not going to jump into it. It's definitely going to spoil the first season. But that didn't happen until after Kirito got the seed, because Gun Gale was based off the seed, which Kirito didn't get until after his fight with Oberon.
Yeah, they'd have to tweak quite a bit.
So to me, it's that fight never happened. The seed hasn't gone. That means Gun Gale isn't around. It's not even a cardinal system.
Now, I don't think Gun Gale was the first game she played, though.
Yeah, you're probably
there is
right.
That. Just as long as they don't do any Gun Gale references, I think it'd be fine.
She gets a unique skill where she's able to use a bow. So,
which fits the character.
It fits the character.
It's a bit of a stretch.
But the Lord of Mount MacGuffin really had to twist an arm with that one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can understand Leafa. I can sit here and say, yeah.
You know what? I need to make a god named MacGuffin. There's gonna be a Gygax and a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Chance and stretching reality.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I got my in.
It's like yawning.
Yeah.
You can go a long time without doing it. You do it once, and then someone calls you out on it. You're just...
It's like a How I Met Your Father moment. But
Oh wait. Sorry.
But
Oh.
Well,
Let's see. We are at... Oh, well, man, half an hour.
Oh, we still got more time. Cool.
I know.
I had something on my mind. Oh, yeah. Game that I really want to try, but I don't know if I'll be able to play it. It's probably pretty graphic intensive. The Ruby game.
Oh, isn't that the... It's kind of like
It got greenlit through Steam and everything.
I'm trying to think of the game style. The Dynasty Warrior-esque game where you get like the 4 people and
the strategy hack and slash.
Yes.
I really, because I'm a Dynasty Warriors fan. I've always been, and their spin-off games. Haven't yet played the Pirate Warriors one, but I want to.
I know. I played a lot of the Gundam ones.
Yeah, I played a lot of the Gundam ones too. Or visiting Sean, he has all of them. So.
What was your favorite Gundam to play?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm a big fan of Death Scythe Hell all the time, just because I like the darker ones. And Epion, too. So those two are big ones. But then I like Turnagum, or like I call Nuka Gundam. Because it pretty much kicks out nukes. If you do the right combos, just kick out nukes all the time, blasting the crap out of everything, and then detonating for your ultimate, you know.
See, I was Strike Freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, but... Yeah, some people like, but that's Gundam Seed. Well, fuck you.
Granted, I don't like Gundam Seed or Destiny, but I'm not going to diss your favorite Gundam, you know. Just because I didn't like the storyline or how it flowed doesn't mean I don't appreciate the models.
I think a lot of it just comes down to it's just a very slow-paced show, and people don't, especially with something that deals with giant robots and slow-paced. No.
Yeah, that's where some of the issues with Gundam come from, is several of the series are a little slower paced, especially that one. For me, the slower pace and the heavy focus on intrigue with characters I didn't even relate well with just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, the really heavy philosophy that kind of took a toll really early on.
Yeah.
I mean, later on it's fine because
things are established. Fights happen.
Though
there's my another
Though I think recently, Iron-Blooded Orphans came out.
Tell me nothing.
No, I'm just saying. They finished
I'm gonna watch.
They finished up the first season.
There's dub coming out already.
There's dub coming out, I think.
Yes, there is.
It is one of the... I think it's the happy medium between a lot of the newer elements, but they took a lot of a step back.
Did you see Gundam 00?
I did see Gundam 00.
How would you compare it to that? Like, what scale-wise? Is it closer to a little less actiony, a little more towards the 8th MS team?
I'd have to say... I mean, it's a much shorter series, so I think they crammed a lot. I mean, I think they could have done a little bit more stretching it out a little bit longer.
It a little bit.
But not too much. I think the pacing was just a little too fast. Story-wise, I think the story that they have, I think it kind of almost rivals Good. 00. I don't know what your stance on 00 is.
I loved it.
I personally loved 00.
I thought it had good pacing, interesting characters that you could connect with. Kind of some shocks in there, you know.
And like one of the big things they chose, and they went away from everyone has a Gundam to no, there's only a limited number of Gundams out there, which is something kind of more towards the older series. Because that was my issue.
Less G Gundam, more.
Well, that was my issue. Like in Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny, was towards the end. If everyone had a Gundam. Everyone was like in these epic fights, and I'm just like, there's just too much going on. You know,
one of my favorite things about Gundam Wing, which was the first big one, not the first one, but the first big one that really hit and connected with people, was Zex Marquis, and the fact that he didn't have a Gundam.
Yeah,
he had his own custom mobile suit that wasn't a Gundam.
Yeah. Didn't contain Gundanium alloy.
Not until I think like the third model. I think they tweaked into it, and that's prior to Epion. So
yeah.
Wait, that was post Epion because he said fuck Epion and went on to make the third.
With kind of Iron-Blooded on another thing I thought was really kind of ballsy at first is there's no laser weapons.
That's more fun, in my opinion.
Which
it makes sense.
I think it gives it a more kind of, from our day and age, kind of a little more kind of a realistic look at things, because they have to deal with the fact that rifles will shoot straight till gravity kind of really acts on them, and you know, there's
ballistics versus beams.
But one of the things it really puts a heavy focus on is the melee combat.
Now, do they have beam sabers?
No, they do not.
Oh, that makes it even more fun.
All the weapons are
pulse and vibration based, or
I think they're just vanilla.
Oh wow!
Like most of them have axes. Though he does have like the you know what the jaws of life are?
Yeah.
One of the weapons he gets is kind of like a giant jaws of life used to
split open or crush things.
It's more focused on the crushing aspect.
He has a pincer.
He does it like that, and a club, and he
So he's a scorpion.
Yeah, well, it's like he has this rotating cast of weapons.
Oh, that just sounds delicious.
Yeah, and
that's more to my liking. Me likey.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. Like I said, I think it's something that you'd enjoy. Kind of right off, it's kind of a little rough because there's no easy way to introduce child soldiers.
Yeah,
which is what the series,
and that's what Gundam is.
You know,
a lot of the time.
Is what this series focuses on, and
it's like going into Ender's Game and like, child soldiers, what's that?
I think one of the things it does real nice is the hero you're kind of going with. He's already hit that point where he's already killed people, and he's like,
so he's like a hero or Setsuna,
desensitized to it.
Yeah,
like, which eliminates a lot of the problem with some of the other a lot of the newer kind of people we're going with, except for Setsuna.
Yeah, well, like I said, Setsuna and Hiro, they had already been desensitized. They were already kid soldiers and assassins and the like. So the main character is kind of in that same vein, which those are the popular characters for certain, even though I like Duo Maxwell the most. Because, Duo and Hellscythe together, hells yeah.
But, it's just one of those things. I think it's definitely unique and definitely worth a watch, whether you end up liking it or not. I definitely encourage people, especially if they liked a lot of the older the Gundam series.
Now, the design and style, does it feel a lot more like the older ones, like I said earlier, 8th MS Team, 0083, things like that?
See, yeah, I grew up with Wing and then kind of onward, so I didn't really get a good chance to kind of watch any of the older Gundams much. But something I did like about it is you can definitely, and this is kind of something that was kind of irking me back in some of the new ones, is like a lot of the standard frames, they all look special. Yeah. They all look unique, and there are some definitely unique mobile suit frames. But
a lot of them were supposed to be variations, like Gundam Wing. Had the personal favorite was the Gauf Custom, because you had the Gaufs, the Camphors, and Zaku's. Zaku's. All of them were similar in design and just like general aesthetics and appearance, because they were made for one.
There was no but kind of jumping into like 00. You had a lot of mobile suits that looked the same, that just looked like that looked like Gundams. You're like, oh, and I guess later on they had Gundams, but it's like at that point it just ruins the specialness that is a Gundam. And
yeah, I mean, if there's nothing unique or special about the Gundam besides the fact that it's made out of Gundanium or whatnot, then what's the fun in it?
Something I really liked is in this show, when you saw it, you knew right off the bat, that's a fucking Gundam.
Yeah.
You can immediate recognition, even though you've never seen it. You're like, that's a Gundam, that's a Gundam, that's a Gundam. because they were only so many produced, and they're actually like decades old. Apparently,
they're probably prototypes of some made by different designers.
No, they were used. Like this takes place after an event called the Calamity Wars, and during these wars, they were like 1,000 of these guys made that fought in the wars, and that's kind of why. And so this is a few like decades later.
So, question then. Well, no. I'll find out by watching.
Yeah.
I'll find out by watching. That's the way I want it.
Yep. That just piques that interest just enough now.
Yeah. Well, see, I wanted to watch it to begin with. I've heard so many good reviews on it, and I'm the kind of guy that I like going into things blind. But because I can, if I know even just a little scrap of information, I can make so many different assumptions. It's more fun to go in blind.
I mean, it's better than how I was introduced to Gurren Lagann. Here is the last episode. Now we'll start from episode 1.
That's what happened to me with Evangelion. And that's why I didn't watch Evangelion for the longest time.
Honestly, Evangelion, if I had watched the last episode, I would have never watched the first episode.
Exactly.
Or if I had watched the first episode and saw how many episodes are between that and the last episode, I'd be like, no, not happening. I am not watching, 50 episodes of this shit?
Something like that. No, 26 episodes.
It is 26 episodes?
Yeah, because someone had given me a DVD of it. Turns out it was the last DVD. I thought it was the first. Watched it. Was like, what am I watching? No. Including the 15-minute, or I don't even remember how long it was, the scene of staring. Prolonged eye contact.
At least I can sit here and say Gurren Lagann was, you're like, giant robots throwing galaxies at each other? What?
Heck yeah!
Heck yeah! And then you watch the first episode.
Oh, I'm actually...
And you're like, how does this turn into that?
Another anime that kind of touched on that, Berserk.
I've not... Like, I know the overarching storyline of Berserk, but I really just want to watch it, because I'm like...
Well, they have rebooted it.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, it started this year. They're already airing episodes. The problem is it's not dubbed yet. There's been some people complaining that there's too much CG used, which, as long as the story is conveyed, I'm good with.
A lot of people complain about that, but that's just going to be how it goes.
Yeah, there's going to be haters hating about any particular type of art style or choice or aesthetic.
Because it's a lot easier for a lot of those guys to do... Because I know, Soul Eater. Very obviously, the backgrounds are all CG.
Which, honestly, I still like it. I love it, actually.
I mean, I really feel like but a lot of the characters, you can definitely tell they spent a lot more time working on them. I'm not sure if they were hand-drawn, but they definitely have that feel about it.
And I like the aesthetic of the characters for Soul Eater. It steps out of Moe,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Moe.
Yeah, pretty much. As long as the Moe can produce a good story, I'm all right with it. But for me, at this point, it seems lazy.
It does.
And that's my opinion. Anyway, with different animes that have been coming out, there's been a lot of good ones. Like, did you watch Assassination Classroom?
I've not watched it. It's on my to-watch list.
Definitely good. Good throughout. Fun series.
I don't know, it's just a lot of those school animes. Like, I know they can be either really hit or miss.
This one, yes, it's a school anime, but it's so much more than that. I don't want to say too much, but it's definitely got... Like, just hearing the name, I didn't think it was going to be much. I went in with low expectations, thinking, it's just going to be another school anime, stupid thing. No. The characters are all enjoyable. It has a good flow to it. It follows the manga, too. Faith read all the manga, and it keeps pretty well to the manga. So people who enjoy the manga can actually enjoy the anime without, getting too much discrepancy. Kind of like how they did Brotherhood when they redid the Full Metal Alchemist. We're like, this time we're going to follow the manga. Boop.
Well, I mean, they kind of hit a point where they jumped ahead of the manga and were like, we're in undiscovered territories.
Well, they were told not to follow what the manga was going to do. They were specifically told that, so.
Yeah. And then I know with the second one, it, like the last couple of episodes, when they were making them, they weren't written. But the author sat here and was like, no, this is what's going to happen in the manga. This way, when the show aired, it coincided with the manga.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, see, that works when you get people working.
If you can coordinate your efforts.
I think a lot of it is the author didn't want to sit here and spoil everything on the anime.
Yeah.
With that first season, that first series, so they're like, yeah, just kind of do whatever.
And this was early on. Not early, but earlier on in the coordinated efforts for a manga versus anime. I mean, you've got the early ons like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, but this is, still at this point is now considered early because so much anime has happened since. I've been enjoying the progression of anime, how they're getting better at telling stories, they're getting better at conveying, and even if the stories are based off of different works, like all the Bleach, One Piece, all that, where they were inspired by things like Dragon Ball. I'm fine with that. Sure, take your inspiration and then run with it your own thing. Bleach is finally ending. Finally ending. I don't know if I like the ending, but it's finally ending. Naruto finally ended.
It didn't. It allowed
ended.
Allowed for if continuation, if a studio so does it, or if a fan wants to pick up and go. They left it at a really good spot.
Something where you could pick up, like Legend of Korra.
Yeah, well, you could pick it up and continue on, and you won't have to be limited to what the old, because they essentially left it so they can go wherever direction they want. Mm-hmm. I really feel like there's some shows that when they end it in such a weird position, and then those are always the show they end up getting a next season, and then they spend most of that season explaining how they got out of that situation, or just not even acknowledge that he was 10 feet away from dying and couldn't stop moving forward.
Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. They ended it and like, yep, he's definitely dead.
Yeah.
Oh shit, spoilers.
But no, I mean, it's just one of those things that you...
Do you watch Archer?
I've watched like the first 2 seasons.
That is my favorite asshole series. Specifically to watch someone be an asshole for me. It's a catharsis thing. And I enjoy the hell out of it. They weren't yet renewed for seasons when they finished their most recent season. So they kind of put it at a kind of a cliffhanger. I don't want to say any more than that because, again, spoilers.
It's okay. My old neighbors, not Steve, but Jean, was...
He already told you what happened?
If I hang around him long enough and he's binging on a show, I essentially learn all of its dirty little secrets without me wanting it to or not.
On the plus side, they have been, I think it's 3 more seasons they've been okayed for, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Though I think Archer, if it's something like, we left it at a cliffhanger, and then like, just don't even acknowledge that into the next season.
Right?
I really feel like that actually just adds to that show.
Archer Vice. You haven't seen. But...
I mean, because there are shows that could do that. But some serious shows that do that, and you're just like, what the fuck? You were about ready to die. Oh, well, I actually did
went
this.
Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
Red monkeys.
Oh, red monkeys. But I really feel like Naruto kind of ended well. It closed everything up nicely. Yes, it took a long time.
A long time.
Well, and let's not discuss the 100 episodes of filler in the first series. I have actually, that's put me off so much. I haven't actually even watched Shippuden.
Oh,
I've watched some of it.
Filler just peeves me. Like, I understand what they're doing, what they're trying to do, but as soon as you see a creepy little girl, an alternate storyline, you know it's filler.
And don't get me wrong, I know there are some shows where a filler episode is required.
Yeah.
Because, schedules aren't lining up. Mm-hmm. You want to keep pace with the actual author. I understand, but don't, like, if you're going to stick filler, make it at least fun.
Yeah, and if you're going to do filler and keep the characters from the filler, at least make them enjoyable.
Yeah, or not
talking
even,
to you, Bleach.
Not even use the actual characters in the filler. Just be like, hey,
they all died. It's nicely tied off.
Like a great Marvel series that would be all filler is the guys that have to clean up after the super fights.
See, I've always wanted to see a series like that. That would be awesome. The cleanup crew,
And I know it's been joked about before, but I mean, like, seriously, like, you want a filler episode, do a bunch of episodes based off these guys trying to clean in the middle of a super fight. Because that would be more entertaining than watching the ramen of whatever in Naruto.
Now, watching...
Or was it the ramen of power? No, curry of power.
Curry of power.
It's the curry of power.
Yeah. Watching My Little Pony, actually I think my favorite episode was the one focused on all the side characters, where they each got a little time in the spotlight interacting with each other. That was, I think, season 6. I don't know. I haven't watched the most recent stuff. But it was great because Doctor Who's and all that. It focused on all those characters. Derpy, Doctor Who's, the DJ character and all that. All it focused on them throughout the entire episode. It was the Maud and, what's his name, getting married episode. Best episode. Terrible with names.
I haven't seen anything past the first season, so I enjoy it. I'm just not brony enough, man.
I won't hold it against you.
Like, if someone's watching it, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm just not brony enough to sit in my basement, in my apartment by myself, explaining to my wife why I'm watching.
Well, if Brittany gets into it, then you're in trouble. Because Faith was into it, so yeah, got through it.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm just waiting for the phase with my child. Be like, yes, I can now have you watch all the children TV shows.
I now feel guilty about it. It's like being able to binge eat, I suppose, Yeah.
That's why I love taking my wife out places. It's just, you didn't finish this. It's okay.
Secret plan of all husbands.
Is to utilize your wives for extra food.
Sure, hon, I'll make you an entire pizza just for you.
And myself as well. I'm sorry. I made the wrong pizza. Let me make you another one.
Now, see, I don't do that one.
No, I'd expect my brother to.
Oh, gosh. By the way, I heard that the basement that you got finished off really nicely down there.
It did. It was a lot of contractor horror stories, but it's there.
Yeah,
it's good. If we can get it from flooding again.
Yeah, Faith and I wanted to actually talk with you guys about that at some point too.
Oh,
well, we eventually want to finish off our basement, so we're less scared of it.
My big thing is, and I'll tell anyone, is if you're going through a contractor for doing anything, make sure, 1, they quote it on paper, 2, you both agree to the amount in the quote, and 3, there's going to be some things that don't quite go according to the plan. You got to be flexible enough, but you also got to see if everything is going to plan. You got to kind of hold your contractor accountable.
Yeah.
Mind you, jumping in, there are a lot of things that can easily be done without a contractor.
Didn't your brothers do a lot of the stuff too?
I did a lot of the framing myself because the contractors were kind of pieces of but I did a lot of the framing myself and helped with a lot of the electrical Jordan did a lot of the finishing work, which he did. He tiled the bathroom. He did a lot of the finish. I did a lot of the skeletal work. Mm-hmm. He did the stuff that everyone's like, oh, that looks nice.
Yeah. It's because Faith and I were talking about if we can eventually, we should probably hire you guys.
No, because there will be things you'd have to get, you'd actually have to hire an electrician.
Yep, get it.
You'd actually have to hire a plumber.
Maybe a carpenter to look at the supports and everything.
Yeah, that's the real big deal, and those guys are the ones that will sign everything off. But there's a lot of things you can do to lower the price, such as building walls, especially if you're building.
Well, see, a lot of things is we've got a lot of stuff down there already. We've got a fully functioning bathroom and everything. It is the walls and the flooring and stuff, but that's our concern.
You might have to. At that point, it might just be getting a permit to build the walls and run new electrical to those walls after that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, there's a wall's already built. It's partially finished, because you've seen the drywall and stuff, so there's got to be something in there about having a wall. I don't know. Anyway, that is well off topic.
Yeah, well off topic.
But
hey. But no, I mean, it's one of those, fun things.
A recording studio.
I know. Ooh, that wouldn't be too bad.
Right?
Then we can run this thing at full volume in a padded room and sweat our balls off for an hour.
Down in the basement's going to be cooler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think we're about ready to hit that lovely time.
Alrighty.
All right. We're kind of at the bunny trails, which we don't mind.
Yeah, we eventually kill and eat the bunny, so.
The ragu rabbit.
The ragu rabbit.
Tastes like ash in my mouth. Alright, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. I'm Connor.
I'm BJ.
And you've just listened to Something Perilous.